A few days after the 100 Beasts Festival closed. Inside Professor Secret's cramped but orderly office. Professor Secret, voice grave yet oddly serene. I heard the news from Professor Jaredin. The two curses both merged with Bazura's power and became one. That self-same fusion settled in your body as a power source. Something akin to a core. Naturally, that's only a half solution. The seal, imposed by the curse, still lies heavy. For comparison's sake, imagine individual poisons mixing. You don't cancel them out to create a new, unpredictable toxin. Ronin drops his gaze to the faint ember-colored glimmer beneath. The fabric of his tunic is core. It pulses once, like a muffled heartbeat. Ronin, brow raised but voice steady. Considering how calmly you're talking. It means this isn't a life or death issue at least not yet, right? He exhales, then admits with the faintest crooked grin. Actually, it's been pretty useful so far. Still, curse removal is the end goal. Is there a real way out? Professor Secret narrows his eyes, studying the young swordsman. You're more resolute than before. Something changed. Ronin, pupils like flint, voice turning almost solemn. I just realized I have to pull myself together. There's one more promise I absolutely have to keep at any cost. Surprise flickers over the professor's features. He composes himself, and then smiles gently. Professor Secret, right? I see. Then you've arrived. At the perfect moment. I have just completed only moments ago the research needed to lift one of your curses. Ronin practically leaps up, knees bumping the desk. Arili Hura, tell me, what should I do? Calm down. The professor chuckles, then speaks with formal precision. The procedure is the same as before. Enter your inner world. Force the curse to manifest. Search for its source. Cut it down. However, his tone turns steel hard. This time the curse won't show its face so easily. It will employ every trick, every defensive measure, every layer of deception to protect itself. The professor then says, to sustain your inner world long enough, we need two things. A massive reservoir of mana, and a catalyst. The mana I can gather barely. The catalyst, that's the sticking point. The professor then asks, have you ever heard of a place called Danhar? Ronin tilts his head, brow creasing. The demonic realm in the southwest. Are you talking about that black stone so rare it's almost myth even there? The professor nods once, gravely. No. Need for further explanation. You know it well. Yes, the Danhar Mountain Magic Stone. A side panel of memory as if the very walls whisper, Danhar Mountain Magic, stone top, tier arcane substance. Able to store dense mana and concealed secrets. When a single chip appears at Imperial auction, records shatter. Its value, incalculable. Secret reaches into a velvet-lined box, removing a jagged fragment no bigger than a sunflower seed. It glints with midnight iridescence. This tiny sliver cost me several years' salary. Ronin, jaw tight, asks quietly, couldn't we spare your pockets a bit? Use less. Unfortunately, no, the scholar replies, shaking his head. For stability, the stone must be at least the size of a thumb. Hence, even though I've finalized the ritual, I hesitated to call you. Could you wait a little longer? I'll ransack every archive for a substitute catalyst. Ronin shuts his eyes, inhales through his nose, inner monologue, a weary sigh. Do I have a choice? It's in the top 3 places I vowed never to return to, but I'm the one. In need, I can't complain. When he opens his eyes again, they're already charting a route back to that merciless desert. The scene then shifts to Ada Shan. She strolls under tangled branches. Alone, but her mind betrays her drifting back. To that incident, flashback starts in Ada Shan and a bright red-haired scout pick their way through warehouse shadows. In the center, a wooden crate draped in coarse linen. Dust motes spin in arrow-slanted light. Red-haired scout, whispering, is what's inside really the alpha? Ada Shan nods briskly, trusting the beast's unseen reports. According to the animal's senses, it's definitely the alpha. If it was hurt during capture, we'd better check right now. She lifts the cloth. The alpha's formless aura condenses, warps, shapes itself, until Ronin's face stares back. Ada Shan's jaw drops. Panic flushes her ears scarlet. Instinctively she flings the cloth over Ronin's head, as though smothering fire, then turns to the scout. Ada Shan, mortified, voice cracking. Please, you saw nothing. Not a word about this to anyone ever. Flashback dissolves. Color returns. Ada Shan now leans against a tree, cheeks aflame. She mumbles to herself, half pep talk, half flustered confession. I keep replaying that scene, and now I can't look Ronin in the eye. But maybe the alpha's change was its way of thinking. The only person who believed in my dream, right? That's gotta be it. Nothing to be ashamed of. Ada Shan. Next time you meet him, et him proudly. Q. A gust of wind ruffling leaves. She peeks around the trunk, canned. There he is. Ronin, sword belt slung, gazing skyward. Ronin, murmuring to no one. Gladly, like always, today's weather is nice. Ada Shan whispers, eyes saucer wide. WHY. Now of all times. She inhales, forces shoulders square. step out casually, greet him. Yet she's still half hidden when Ronan turns. Ronan, what are you doing there? He blinks, hand instinctively on hilt. You startled me. Did you see something you shouldn't? Age Shan stutters, face incandescent. Unknown, nothing, really. Ronan relaxes, chuckles, a good. If I tease nothing, that's a relief. On an impulse he reaches out, fingers curling around her wrist warm. Steady actually, you're here at the perfect time. I need you to come with me, there's a place we have to visit together. I'm going to forge a weapon. Age Shan, startled. A place, a weapon. What are you talking about? Ronan grins, sharpening into excitement. It's been bugging me that I haven't shown it to you. Trust me, just come. I'm going to get you something worth dying for. The scene then shifts to a bleak ruin, which is noon-tinted blood-rich. Pillars jut like the ribs of a colossal beast. Torn banners flap, corpses fresh and old sway on hooks. The horizon is a charcoal smear. A solitary woman, draped head to toe in immaculate white, stands amid the devastation. Expression unreadable. White-robed woman. Voice ethereal. The leader himself has issued a direct order. A crimson pool nearby churns, bubbles, then births. A man. The man then says, to be summoned by the stern agent of the star. So BIT, with our repeated failures at Brigia and Baron, our plan has suffered severe setbacks. This time, there can be no node room for even the slightest mistake. He tilts his head toward the woman. Shall we depart, Uria, to the demonic realm Danehor?
The scene opens at the grandest smithy in the heart of the capital Grand Cappadocia's legendary forge, where molten metal flows like rivers of fire, and the air hums with the crackle of energy and the scent of burning steel. The anvil rings softly under the weight of countless crafted masterpieces, and the glow of enchanted furnaces illuminates every corner. Ronan steps inside, flanked by Ade Shan, his expression calm but focused. He folds his hands, gazing around the bustling workshop. After the Order's terror incident, Ronan begins, voice steady, carrying a weight of experience. They started rebuilding with support from Drancia Palace. But this isn't just simple reconstruction. He pauses, eyes gleaming with a mixture of pride and anticipation. Old man Doron, he continues, voice tinged with respect. He sure got his money's worth. Suddenly, a wolf man, Didi Khan, spots them approaching. His keen eyes lock onto Ronan and Ade Shan, and a sly grin spreads across his face. As Ronan notices him, a wide, joyful smile breaks out. He exclaims, "Wait, would you look at that?" Didi Khan strides over, wrapping a large, hairy paw around Ronan's shoulders in a familiar gesture. His voice is deep and gravelly, filled with admiration. If it isn't the hero who saved Grand Cappadocia Ron, an old friend. It's been a while. Ronan chuckles softly, nodding in return. It's been a while, Didi Khan. Seeing how full of energy you are, it seems you're doing well. The wolfman's expression darkens slightly, and he lets out a heavy sigh. I'm not well at all, he mutters, voice tinged with exhaustion. I've been tirelessly hammering away at something. Got no rest. I'm tired. He glances past Ronan, eyes narrowing with curiosity. Heard from old man Duron. You're here for a new weapon, right? Stayed up several nights over it. Didi Khan's gaze then drifts to Ade Shan, standing silently behind Ronan. Their eyes meet. An unspoken acknowledgement passes between them. Ade Shan remains clueless about the significance of the stare. Didi Khan then leans in slightly, lowering his voice with a grin, teasing. So, there was another reason you've been so busy lately, Brat. Who's that pretty lady? His eyes twinkle mischievously. Your lover? What about Maria, the one who came with you last time? You sure are a bad boy. Ronan, unfazed, responds with a cool smile. Estelle would cry if he heard you say that. I just brought a close senior to help her get a weapon. And by the way, reckless actions won't do you any good. Didi Khan raises an eyebrow, playful yet serious. Huh? What do you mean? Ronan's voice turns more serious, layered with concern. Remember when I first came here, you talked about needing to prove myself, testing the equipment? You got hurt because of that. If she activates her ability, who knows what'll happen? You might die prematurely. Didi Khan's grin fades, replaced by a flicker of fear as he looks at Ade Shan. She remains unaware, standing quietly. Ronan continues, voice firm. If that happens, I'll make sure to bury you myself. So don't fret. Didi Khan lifts a hand to signal a stop, a serious glint in his eyes. What are you talking about? We've long since abandoned that barbaric procedure, he says, rubbing his head. Let's go inside. The old man's waiting. He then gestures politely toward Ade Shan. You should come too, lady. All three step into the workshop. Didi Khan kicks open the heavy front door with a broad grin, calling out. Old man, We have a customer. Ronan, the one you've been waiting for, has arrived. But before his words fully leave his mouth, he hit on the head with a swift, decisive blow, sending him flying across the room. The old man, eyes blazing with irritation, shouts from the shadows. You bastard. I told you not to kick the door open, Wolf. You never listen to a word I say. Didi Khan groans, rubbing his head, while Ronan steps closer to Adeshan, eyes narrowing. Is that the person you've been talking about? She asks softly. Ronan nods. Yes, that's Old Man Doron. The old man, emerging from the shadows, flashes a wide, grin-filled smile. Hey, Ronan, I prepared something after you contacted me. I can't wait to see what you brought this time. A few minutes later, they were standing next to a table. All right, Ronan, he says, eyes gleaming with anticipation. After not sleeping for 3 nights, here's the blueprint for the new weapon I made. It's packed with interesting features. Depending on the materials you bring, like last time with La Mancha, the output will be totally different. His voice lowers to a whisper, eager. You must have something in mind, right? Ronan smirks, confident. Of course I do. The old man's eyes sparkle as he asks. Is it those marvelous scales from before? The ones that made the last weapon so powerful? The more you've got, the better. Ronan pulls out a piece of paper, unfolding it with a flourish. I brought something even better. The old man squints at the paper, frowning. Isn't this just a piece of paper? This can't be more impressive than the Dreambird scales. He leans forward, scrutinizing it closely. What exactly is this? He murmurs, his brow furrowing. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifts. The old man's expression darkens as he falls into a nightmare. Visions of blood-red skulls swirling in a maelstrom of terror. He questions himself aloud, voice trembling. What? It's as if countless vindictive spirits are screaming. What is this wickedness? He shakes his head violently, breaking free from the illusion. What is this? How did you get something like this? This endless malice, this raw power. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Ronan, holding the paper, nods with pride. As expected of the greatest blacksmith of our generation. You saw through its essence just by touching it. He thumbs up with a confident grin. It was worth everything to come here. I can't wait to see what kind of weapon this will birth. The old man, suddenly panicked, shouts. Born! By whose will, you bastard? He turns away, frustration etched on his face. That material, it's impossible to use for a weapon. It's unpredictable, what it'll do to the user. He mumbles to himself. Using such caliber could lead to a masterpiece, but no, I won't do it. It goes against my conscience as a blacksmith. Ronan, with a calm, unwavering voice, responds. Don't worry about that. This material can't harm me. The old man, surprised, turns back sharply. What do you mean? Ronan's smile turns sinister. I'll explain, but first, give me an answer. You say you can't do it, but your face tells a different story. You're already drooling over the idea of forging your masterpiece. He wipes his chin and then says, Come on, old man. Don't hide it. Be honest with yourself. Deep down, you want to create something incredible. Beg me to give it to you. Moments later, Ronan exits the workshop, Didi Khan nearby, watching him. Didi Khan raises a brow. Those brutal sounds. What did you bring that made him lose his mind like that? Ronan smirks. Just a little something. You'll be shocked when you see it later. By the way, where did Adeshan go? I thought you were going to show her around the village. Didi Khan shrugs. She was surrounded and being consulted by other craftsmen. They said other weapons might suit her better than a sword. She's probably still being pestered. Ronan nods, then glances at Didi Khan, curiosity sparkling. Good. She came with me for a reason. But what's that around your neck? He asks, eyes narrowing. It doesn't look like a necklace. Is that? Didi Khan cuts him off with a grin. I've been meaning for you to ask. It's called a space-time storage outputter. It can print out a moment you want to save with just a click. My masterpiece. What do you think? Isn't it impressive? Ronan rubs his chin, intrigued. That's possible. Ronan's grin widens devilishly. Can I borrow it? I need a big bait like that to lure that guy over to Danehar. The scene shifts to a dark forest late at night. Sharpen walks alone. The only sound is footsteps against damp leaves. Suddenly, Ronan appears beside him. You're going to train this late? You're a real hard worker, Ronan remarks. Sharpen turns, puzzled. What's going on? Have you come to catch up on all the duels you've been avoiding? Ronan leans against a tree, relaxed. That'd be nice, but I'm here for something else today. How about doing some real work with me? I'm heading to a dangerous place, and you're the only one I can trust. Shalifan scoffs. You're talking nonsense again. If it's not a duel, I refuse. I barely have time to train. Ronan pulls out 3 glowing, brilliant pictures, emitting a blinding light. Are you sure? You won't regret it? He asks with a mischievous grin. Shalifan shields his eyes wide. What? This brilliant light. Could it be? And that was it for this chapter. Comment tree to let me know that you watched till the end. Thanks.